RBL Weekly back on the air, week 22. I am the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker, joined back from the dead, my co-host, Sarah Keller. You missed a couple weeks. You're back. And in true Sarah Keller fashion, you're like, as soon as this is over, I have to go to...
A rodeo.
I love it. I didn't even know they had those in L.A.
They have the PBR.
Professional bull riding?
Yeah.
Have you... I was just going to ask, you've been to one
I'm literally
before.
wearing a shirt that says not my first rodeo.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I've been to one before. I've been to the PBR, but like not in a long time. And I'm super stoked because Brad Williams knows the guy who runs it, so we get to go backstage and like meet all the bulls and the riders and stuff, and I'm very excited. This is like the only sport that I would like totally fangirl about.
It's so funny that you call it a sport. Anyway, it's good to have you back. Excited for your rodeo show. Yeah, exactly. I'm waving the red flag in front of Sarah right now. Well, they don't do that there. They ride the bulls. I'm thinking of the matador.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the different sport where we abuse the animals. Anyway, I'm fucking around. Exciting for you to be going to that. Exciting for you to be back here, reviewing some battles. You missed a couple of great weeks. There's a couple things I'm excited for you to see. That you've missed. We are building up to the stretch run of the first RBL season. A lot of things are going on all over the world. Scotland kicked off their international tournament at Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
I just got word of the Tokyo title match happened mere hours ago, thanks to time zones. We should be featuring that footage soon. But for today, we're going to run through some mostly stateside battles, and I'm excited to get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Fantastic. We're going to start this week with the number 2 team in the United States division. Now, as of today, they hold that second spot and the second and final playoff spot in America. I'm talking, of course, about New York City. They were number 1 last week. This week, they come in at number 5 for a battle between Amanda Vasco and Tom Farrell. Here it is.
All right, so Big T and I don't know each other that well, so we actually exchanged information before the roast, and the first thing on Big T's list was I'm fat. Guys, I just want to make it clear, fat jokes are low-hanging fruit.
Big T, fruit are things that skinny people eat.
Amanda's dad's a schizophrenic, and he just got committed recently. He was hearing things again. He was going around telling people that people were laughing at the end of Amanda's jokes. No, I'm not giving you change either.
Good one, Mr. Potato Skinhead. Tommy is Irish, Italian, and very Catholic. Now, I don't know if Tom has been molested, but I do know I feel bad for the priest.
Amanda moved to New York about a year ago, and some people thought it was to pursue a comedy career, but it was to visit her aunt and uncle at the Migrant Hotel down the block. They walk all this way, the least you can do is fly in and visit. Come on.
Thank you, American History XXL. Big T, you look like you want to come out of the closet, but you can't really fit through the door.
Amanda is Argentinian and Cuban. So that means one uncle's a cowboy that loves horses. The other uncle needs to know how much horsepower gets to Miami and Florida. And the dad takes horse tranquilizers, so he doesn't stand anyone at the shelter again.
Hey, Big T, thanks for being here tonight. You must be starving. Tommy's actually a professional gambler. And so... You little fucking bitch is what you are. All right, yeah, Tommy's a professional gambler, and so is anybody that has sex with him.
Oh, yeah. Argentinians love beef. That's why Amanda wasn't even upset when she got raped by her uncle when he was younger. She couldn't resist that meaty, beefy pussy of hers. I went deep on her page, 2014, only one picture of her in shorts. But she's a hot girl, you can't be fucking having that thing out. Just stand there, that people follow you around. Second time in shorts since 2014. It smells good.
Listen, guys, White Castle over here only did this roast.
I'm sorry, I drove here instead of walking here from Venezuela, all right?
Listen, he only did this roast because he heard there would be beef, all right?
And you wore shorts because you were offered. But I'm fasting tonight, all right? I'm fasting all the time, but I'm staying strict tonight. Fuck you.
Tommy, buddy, your forehead has more creases than most foreskin. All right? You look like the big toe you're going to lose to diabetes.
You're transitioning Cuban second baseman. Like, stop. Amanda's dad's homeless. So the only thing you have in common is people can recognize him from their beat-up boxes.
Make some noise for these folks.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
We threw you right into the deep end. This is why you submit battles. Denver, Bay Area. Send me some fucking videos.
For your sake, but also for mine, please.
This was the first week, a little behind the scenes. This was the first week that we had exactly 5 cities submit videos. Now, internationally, we're Barcelona, Australia are on pause because it's hard to sell tickets in the summer internationally. That's what I've been told. As we said, Scotland is running Edinburgh. I don't have the footage yet, but I'm sure those battles are going to be crazy. Tokyo just had their big event, like I said, ended a couple hours ago. So there's stuff coming. But so I understand that the options are going to be a little bit limited sometimes, but this was 5 battles. I want to talk about the good and bad with this one because I thought there was some good, which is they had a lot of fun.
Yes.
The crowd had a lot of fun. The battlers had a lot of fun. I really like Tom's energy on stage. It's infectious. It's and look, at the end of the day, this is a comedy show. So from a comedy show perspective, you go up there as 2 comedians, you make the crowd laugh a bunch, you did your job.
Yep.
So kudos. Since we are doing this from almost more of a sport perspective, and we're breaking it down sort of the X's and O's, technically, it was a little bit rough at times.
Yeah, I thought there were some really nice moments in the battle. Amanda, I thought her best moment was when she just said, like, you must be starving. I thought that was that was great. I liked the big toe you're going to lose joke. It needed to be said. Before we started the battle, I said to Pat, like, God, that guy looks like a thumb. And I'm like, and I know that's not great quality joke writing, but it just needed to be said. But big toe you're gonna lose elevated that and made it was a good joke, Amanda. Tom, your best moment of the battle was when you said I don't know if I'm a professional gambler.
Yeah.
He had some great off the cuff moments. That being said, I had a hard time understanding Tom, and your accent is ridiculous, which can be great in a roast battle.
It's very entertaining. It's total cartoon character, laughing over his own punchlines repeatedly, which made it very difficult for us to understand. I think the only one I got clearly was some shit about like, yeah, your uncle raped you with your meaty pussy or whatever.
Yeah. It was all I kept hearing was your fucking pussy.
Yeah, the one I heard was like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing the whole time. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun to go up there in just basketball shorts and fucking like tank top.
Yeah,
like just dressed like you're on your way to the beach and you stopped in to tell
Jersey
some girl
Shore.
about her pussy for sure.
Yeah.
As somebody who grew up in New Jersey, Tom is the reason when that show came out, the Jersey Shore, and everybody thought, oh, everybody from Jersey is that. I was like, no, those people don't actually exist. Those are TV characters. And then I watched this. I'm like, all right, yeah.
They did exist. I mean, he wasn't that tan, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen a gym.
No, certainly not.
But it did look like it was laundry day.
Yeah, he looked like he washed up on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with a harpoon stuck in him or something. I also I want to call out when she said Mr. Potato Skinhead, because I don't know if she meant it on this level, but it works in so many different ways. Potato skins, skinhead, potato head, all the pieces connect.
I missed that.
Yeah,
that was
as a fat guy, you say potato skins, my antenna go up.
That was a layered joke. Well done, Amanda.
Yeah, nicely done. So it was fun. I would like to see more of both of them, because I did think Amanda had some potential on joke writing. I almost threw my phone out the window when she said American History XXL. We need to retire that one forever. It's done. Goodbye. No more American History XXL. But she had some really fun shit, some well-written jokes. And then Tom's personality is just so good. I would like to see another battle of his where he just does not laugh over the punchlines.
Yeah, and I know this is such a technical note, but I really need you to enunciate, Tom, because I wanted to hear the punchlines and I couldn't understand them.
Yeah.
And if the audience can't understand your punchlines, they might still laugh because you as a person is very delightful and funny, but if you want to elevate your battling to the next level, we need to be able to hear those jokes.
Yeah.
Unless they're terrible, then don't enunciate.
Right, in which case you did a hell of a job because you got laughs on terrible jokes. Yeah. But I have a feeling.
I think they were.
I have a feeling that guy can write some jokes.
Yeah.
So I wanna hear him a little bit next time. But cool, fun battle to kick us off. New York coming in at the 5 spot. For number 4, we're gonna go overseas for the first and only time this episode. We're going to London. And this features a battler making his RBL weekly debut named Anthony Gillay versus a woman who is making her 5th appearance on the show in 22 episodes, leading the entire league. I'm talking about Helen Kay. This is the international leader, London. It's the number 4 battle this week, and here it is.
Helen, you look like a character from Hollyoaks that self-harms but still barely gets any screen time. Respectfully, you have the face of a bitch that survived two famines and a bubonic plague. Helen was actually named after Helen of Troy. If you don't know who that is, Helen of Troy was considered one of the most beautiful women in history. And when she ran away with the Prince of Troy, the armies of Greece fought for 10 years to win her back. Whereas you just look like you fought in that war.
The face that launched 1,000 ships in the opposite direction. So Anthony is sassy, which is gay for a cunt. Anthony was nervous coming out to his parents, but when he finally did, they said, "Son, we know. It's your whole personality." Oh.
A little bit of background about Helen, and this is in her own words. Helen lost her dad to pancreatic cancer, while her psychologically abusive mother triggered multiple eating disorders. And I just found that so shocking. Multiple eating disorders. Sorry, you just don't even look like you've had one. I do feel sorry for you though, like having that incessant body shaming from your own mother. Oh, that shit must have just eaten you up from the inside out. Kind of like pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, I have daddy issues, and you have issues finding a daddy.
Not tonight, I won't.
Lee, I'm 25% Jewish, by the way. And And Anthony looks like a Nazi guard that would fat-shame the Jews in Auschwitz. He's a white power bottom.
You know what? Helen has done 6 roast battles in the last 2 months, and I was like, why does she like getting roasted so much? Then I found out she was part Jewish.
Anthony told me that he was kicked out of Disneyland for, quote, being dressed like a slut. That was the last time he wore his dead mother's clothes. It was also the first time Disney kicked out a fairy. Mark told me it's okay to say.
Helen has ADHD and depression, which means she spends all day on her phone and then gets jealous when it dies. But you know what? I have heard that exercise is good for depression, but you would actually have to go to the gym because unlike your forearms, those abs aren't going to cut themselves.
Anthony's only sexual experience with a woman happened when his cousin took him to Amsterdam's red light district. And I didn't even know they did bring your cousin to work there. Anything else? Is it 5 or I can't count.
Helen picked up DIY during lockdown. So while she can build a cabinet or fix a toilet, she still hasn't managed to repair a failing pancreas.
No, I do have one more. Sorry. It's my fault. I'm not smart. Anthony and I both have accents, but if Anthony were a movie character, Anthony would be the one to tweet about it being an offensive stereotype. Now we're done. Sorry.
So as the number 4 battle, the energy, obviously very different.
Yeah.
From the number 5 battle. And matching the cities, because the first battle felt like a cocaine-fueled hot dog eating contest. And this one was very much like a study session over tea.
Yeah. I had high hopes for the energy in the beginning when Anthony they had that very endearing moment of laughter in the middle of his joke. I was like, oh, these two seem like really good friends. Like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And then it immediately went down in energy, not in ability or anything, just energy. I was like, oh, okay.
Complete juxtaposition to the last one.
Yeah.
Because I thought that the joke writing, I mean, this featured back to back in the middle 2 of my favorite jokes I've heard in a while.
Yes.
With Helen's entire Disneyland run, and then followed up by Anthony with she has ADHD and depression, spends all day on her phone, and then gets jealous when it dies.
Incredible joke.
Yeah. So good. So this was weird because my favorite thing in a battle is great writing. I'm biased towards that. My least favorite thing is awkward energy. Like when there is, between jokes, people are trying to riff and it's not exactly connecting, or they're mumbling it and there's moments of weird silence. So this battle for me was like, oh my God, all the things I love and all the things I hate. And, it was, the parts I loved, the parts I hated.
Yeah, I thought that's a perfect summary
Yeah.
of this. It was a roller coaster of emotions. I thought, Anthony, I'm very impressed with your writing. Like, just incredible writing. The depression joke that Pat mentioned, and then also the like cut abs, cut a writ, like really great wordplay without it feeling like wordplay, you know?
Right.
Helen, you're this is your 5th time on this show. Like, clearly she's incredible. I thought she stumbled a little bit in this battle. I think we've seen her do better. In that she had one joke that was great, and normally I feel like all 5 are great. So I don't know what happened. You know, could be a myriad of things.
I mean, look, you know, Anthony mentioned that she has battled 6 times in the last 2 months.
Oh, jeebers.
She's battled, and this is a thing with London in general. If you look at the leaderboard, and we don't publish sort of the stats quite as much, and we will at some point, but as we get towards the end of the season and we talk about the MVP race and all this, but if you look at across 12 cities, since March 1st, the most wins of anybody in the league: Duffy Connors, London, 12. Shalaka Kurup, London, 9. Luke Hall, London, 8. Joseph Murphy, London, 8. Helen Kay, London, 7. The top 5, they have 5 people who have at least 7 wins. They
That's
have people who
bonkers.
have battled 14, 15 times since the start of March, and we're in August right now. And I do think at some point, you know, there could be diminishing returns to that. It's obviously very impressive to do all the battles and to do consistently well, but are you spreading yourself too thin? You know, I mean, 15 battles, that's 3 years for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
4 years, 5, something like that. You know, you got to space them apart because you need time to, like, mentally recover a little bit, I feel like. So, you know, I wonder if that's part of it, just taking on, you know, too many, because you still see like kind of the sparks there. Whereas Anthony, first battle of the season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. That makes total sense. And like I said, Helen, we've seen her do great. That was just, it was the energy in this one for me, and I've seen Helen be better.
Yeah, there's always kind of like an awkward energy.
London.
I feel like, yeah, London is it's just a different vibe, you know? It's very much, I said this on a different episode, but it feels like there's no sustained momentum between the people. There's very little sort of camaraderie. It's very dry, of course. Cunty is I guess how they would describe it. It's very much like, you don't see the thing that often where they're like sort of like laughing at each other's jokes and really getting into it. And you know, some people think the British Office was better. I'm not saying that one thing is better than the other. I'm just saying it's a different style, certainly. But they're on top of the international division for a reason. They consistently produce the most battles, the best content. They have, in my opinion, the most intriguing in-city MVP race, with a lot of really viable contenders. And it's looking more and more likely that we will see them in the playoffs. They will be sending somebody over to whatever the location ends up being, whether it's at the Mothership in Austin, whether it's you know, in Chicago or LA, wherever the championship ends up happening. I think we will be seeing a representative from London, and I'm excited for it. I love the division. But those guys have to be burnout at this point in the season.
Yeah, maybe like chill for a bit so that if you do come over for the championship, you're not on battle 400, you know, taking on.
So the season ends November 1st, and we're probably going to do the championship in January.
Okay.
So that's
You
2
have
months.
A couple months. But
Which for them is like a decade.
Yeah.
So take that time, whoever represents London, if you guys make the playoffs, recharge your batteries for November and December. Don't take 7 battles in those 2 months. Just relax, focus on January, and we'll see you guys there if things continue the way they're currently going. Okay, speaking of the playoffs, we have a hell of a race going on in America. Coming into this week, LA and New York hold the 2 top spots, with Chicago and Austin on their heels. And let's go to one of those cities right now. This is the number 3 battle this week, and it comes to us from the aforementioned comedy Mothership. This is a title match with the newly crowned Austin champion Candice Medina defending her title against the previously undefeated Francisco Rincon. It's the number 3 battle this week. Here it is.
Make it loud for Austin's own Candice Medina.
Hey.
Hola.
How's it going? Hola.
Good to see you. You're battling Francisco Rincon. Why are you doing this to Francisco?
Well, I always love doing roast battle, like the creative ways that people call me fat, and now I get to do it in Espanol, so that's great.
Fuck yeah. All right, this guy, he's here. We love him. Make it loud for Francisco Rincon. Hey, Frank. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, you're battling Candace tonight. Why are you doing this to her?
You wanted me to call her fat.
Facts. Fats. All right. One round, 5 jokes in English. Who's going first?
Want me to go first? All right, cool.
Fuck yeah, more white privilege. Are we ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is a good one. Battle. Candace, Francisco, let's roll.
When Francisco was a kid in Venezuela, he fell out of a papaya tree and sucked every dick on the way down.
They had a little bit of papaya on top. Candace, her ankles are experiencing more pressure than that submarine that went to the Titanic.
Yeah, and you'd make a great passenger on that ship because you're a wetback.
Hey, well, Candace, you're half Mexican.
Well, I didn't get to do my joke.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Is that cool?
Sure.
Okay, give it up for Francisco, for real. Like, he's a paid regular here at the Mothership, which is awesome. Yeah, jizz janitor. Like, you could just use a mop. You don't have to keep using your ass.
They pay me in mangoes. For when Candace's mom was pregnant with her for the gender reveal party, they popped a balloon. Yeah, a water balloon. It's a whale.
Ahoy.
So she did go to the Titanic.
All right. Gracias. Francisco is the first comic to sell mangoes as his merch. You just have to drive down I-35 to get them.
Well, you're dressed as my favorite tortilla lady.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was inspired by your mom selling roses at a concert, so...
Yeah, you're wearing exactly what my tia would wear for my sister's quinceañera. Did you bring tamales today?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, they're in your belly.
Was it my turn?
I don't know. I guess, yeah.
All right. Okay, puppy. Let's see. I sometimes have trouble believing that Francisco's accent is real. Like, I feel like he's just practicing Scarface in the mirror. Just like, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the allegations dropped.
Candy says men have a hard time finding her clit, but hey, maybe it would be easier if you didn't hide it behind your fupa.
Yeah. I find that hard to believe because I've got a massive pussy. Like, I could smuggle like 5 of you into here, for sure. I don't know.
That's how I got here, and it's 90% fat. It's
Yeah, it's true. It's like all roast beef. Take me back to your country. I can feed a nation.
For sure, with your body alone. They would, yeah, that's a joke where they eat you. Sorry, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can press 2 on your phone.
Okay. That was good. Yeah, just real quick, table 34 needs a refill on chips. And A lot of people don't know this, but Francisco is named after the city of San Francisco, and much like the city, he too has had millions of gay homeless inside him.
That's true. Hey, Candice, a lot of people say you're fat. I don't think you're fat. I think you're happy. You're very happy. You look very happy. Are you this happy because you only eat Happy Meals?
I don't know. You make them, so you should know.
That is true.
That's it. You're good.
I'm good? Okay.
Está bien.
That was it? That was Cinco?
That's good enough. She needs this more than I do. Yeah, she told me that she
you're
tried
adding in another joke.
She
Okay.
told.
Smuggling a new one
Hey,
in.
come on! I'm a little immigrant boy. Let me get a little. It's okay. Yeah, she told me that she tried to kill herself when she was 11, and she is still trying to kill herself with food. Hey, Candice, keep eating. You're almost there. Oh no, that was bad. Okay.
Totally worth it.
I love you guys. I love you, Candice.
Totally worth it. Keep it going. Candice Medina and Francisco Rincon.
The theme of wildly high highs and in frighteningly low lows.
Yeah, this
continues.
is the roller coaster episode.
This episode is all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, like, I'm speechless because I'm like, wow.
It's yeah, I have thoughts. You go first. What did you think?
I like you said, some really fucking incredible moments.
Mm-hmm.
Two amazing comics. I love watching both of them.
Agreed.
I've seen them a lot in Austin and a lot on this, and both just incredibly talented comedians. My guess is the awkward moments that we saw came out of, the pressure of a title match.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like Austin, it's like an afterthought.
They don't care.
They're like, we don't care. I think there was definitely pressure, whether it was from the title match or just like the Mothership kind of situation in general, because it's so fresh for everybody that it's just like, oh my God, I get to perform on this stage.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I definitely, there was some pressure, I think, that led to the awkwardness regardless.
I think because I haven't seen either of them have like that many moments like that.
Sure.
They're both so good off the cuff, and like we saw some really brilliant moments. I mean, like Candice is a massive pussy. I smuggled 5 of you in. Chef's kiss, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were awkward silences like what I just did right now on the pod.
Sure. Yeah.
But by 100,
it's a reenactment.
Yeah. You're welcome. And I thought like Francisco had some great jokes. The Titanic submarine, great like topical joke. The water balloon,
It's a whale. Outstanding.
Yep. And then some absolute fucking terrible jokes. The Happy Meal, why?
Yeah, I mean that's literally like a popsicle stick like reject joke. Like if you pitch that at the popsicle stick factory, it'd be like you're fucking fired. Yeah. Yeah. I always sit around and I'm like, they can't replace writers with AI. And then I'm like, oh, maybe they. I think ChatGPT could write probably a way better.
Yeah, if that's the standard.
Yeah. The interesting thing to me was the timing of his awkward moments. It was like like death by 1,000 self-inflicted gunshot wounds. He was ahead. Halfway through, the submarine joke was great. The "it's a whale" joke was incredible. You shouldn't hide your clit behind your fupa. Even though she like flipped it with the pussy thing, like he was hitting, and then there are some people who just feel the need to try to go off the cuff to rebut everything. And look, I think he has a strategy where it's like, I don't care about winning. I just want to say as many things as I can, and hopefully some of them are funny, and I get that. I understand. But from a strategy perspective, you're ahead. It's like in football, if you're up 3 touchdowns with 9 minutes to go, you run the ball. And he's just out there throwing fucking Hail Marys into double coverage. And it cost him the battle. Even the insistence on doing the extra joke at the end, which we've seen so many times, it never ends well. If I had a dollar for every time I heard Moses say "totally worth it" sarcastically, I'd be a millionaire. And spoiler alert, it's not the last time we're going to hear that in this episode. The roller coaster will continue.
Oh, no.
But he was ahead on points, and he just kept leaving the door open for her to get through, and her riffs were just hitting like way harder, especially towards the end. And I think he kind of fumbled the ball with a big lead in this one. Candace did take the battle. She retains the championship. Just another sort of up and down kind of thing. Very little consistency in this episode.
Yeah.
All the battles are fun in different ways, but they're all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a very succinct analysis.
Thank you. I don't know if succinct is the word. I went on for a minute, but
succinct for you.
For me, yes.
Yeah.
By my standards, that was brevity. But we will be back at the Mothership on August 20th. What's that? A week from today, as we're filming this. So this coming Sunday at the Comedy Mothership, Roast Battle will be returning with more great battles featuring battlers from all the American cities. So come check that out. Let's keep it going right now and go to the number 2 battle this week. You're not going to believe this, but it's another battle with some really well-written jokes and some awkward energy throughout. Might as well have a theme. It's another title match. It happened in LA this past week. It is the reigning and defending champion Kelsey Lane going up against the challenger Sarah Fatimi. Let's check it out.
All right, so this is 1 round. This is 5 jokes. We sad about this audience? Yeah! Championship battle. Brought to you by San Bernardino Tequila. This is exciting. Let's make it so fucking level break this bitch, everybody. Battle! 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 You're champion, Kelsey Lane. You're first. Let's go!
Kelsey's last name is Lane because they both belong to the streets. I'm a whore. I'm a whore. Sarah loves Princess Jasmine because she also fucks homeless guys on a carpet in the dirt. I'm surprised. Sarah looks like a hot girl that drowned like 3 days ago. Thank you, Avril Laqueef. Kelsey's parents are heroin addicts, but they're very supportive of her career. Whenever she updates them on what she's up to, they nod.
You piece of shit!
Oh, my family. Oh, Sarah's mom told her that in their culture, only prostitutes suck dick. That's true. So how much do you owe your dad? How much does your dad owe you? Words are hard, but she fucks her dad. That's true, I am brown, and I'm surprised you recognize anything brown when it's not in a baggie. Kelsey's like a, because my parents do heroin was what she's saying. Okay, good. Kelsey's like AI. No real intelligence and only works when you're using your fingers. Yep. That's fair. Sarah says she's from Iran, but her body says I sit. That's the only time you'll ever hear Kelsey say I ran without adding from the police. I don't know if Kelsey really does any drugs, but I know those tits are definitely downers. They're actually, I go downers, so we'll find out later. Drugs, yeah. Sarah has never done coke. The only thing that goes near her nose is her mustache. Kelsey's pussy is like the comet Comedy Store. Every comic has felt those walls. It's true, I do date comedians, but Sarah dated a soccer player. It's the only way that, because if he could use his hands, he would probably choke the shit out of her. Sarah's unemployed. Her parents keep begging her to get a job.
That's true, Kelsey. I am brown, and like 7-Eleven, your legs are open 24 hours a day.
Totally worth it. Make it loud!
So totally worth it.
Moses needs merch that says that.
Totally worth it.
Totally
Yeah,
worth it.
absolutely. That is quickly becoming his catchphrase. People just cannot get enough. Quitting while you're ahead is not a concept that is popular in the roast battle world. So, full disclosure before we get to this battle. It went to overtime. There was an overtime. It was filmed. It was not posted. Don't know why. Great question. Why do we not have the overtime for a battle that we filmed? I don't know the answer to that. But in overtime,
we don't have it either. Like to watch for ourselves.
Well, I just put the list together yesterday. I started going through the battles, and I'm like, oh, there's no. I guess I could have sent some messages and been like, can somebody upload it? Ultimately, I was a little bit busy, so I did not.
No. I
get
just
that done.
We talked about this earlier, and
Right.
I did not. I just assumed that we would be able to watch it.
You would think. Yeah,
Whoops.
that's why when you were saying, you're like, well, it's a cliffhanger for the episode. In my head, I'm like, no, not really.
Well, you should have said that.
I should have.
Okay. Oh.
Sarah Fatimi clearly won the overtime. She saved one of her best jokes for overtime and had an absolute haymaker and won the battle.
I'm so mad I don't get to watch it.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe we could dig that up for a future episode. So Sarah Fatimi is the new LA champion. We'll get to that in a minute. Before we get to that, I wanted to get your thoughts on the battle. In regulation, who did you have winning and what were some of your best moments?
Well, that's hard to say because I knew it went into overtime, and so I thought that was correct.
Okay.
I didn't have anybody clearly coming out ahead in regulation. I thought they both had some really good jokes, and then they both had some really big misses.
Yep.
I really liked the build up that Sarah had about the drug use and then and her tits are downers, like really drove that home. I thought that was a great like arc of her joke narrative, and I was very impressed with that. The Coke mustache rebuttal of Kelsey's was excellent. And then Kelsey's last joke, the hijab, to me was a classic Kelsey Lane joke.
Silly.
Very, very silly.
Yep.
But this one had a little bit more layers than like maybe a classic Kelsey Lane joke, so I liked that. It was pretty evenly matched, I thought.
Watching it back on tape is always different than in the room. I'm gonna say this because on this podcast in the past, I can specifically remember 2 Kelsey Lane battles that she won that I called out and said I thought she lost. Watching them, so I will say this: in the room at the end of regulation, I thought that Kelsey won. I thought that Kelsey had won. I don't want to say clearly, but I thought. Overtime was not warranted. Watching it back now, I get it. I understand where the overtime decision came from. It was way closer than, to me, it felt in the room. And I want to be really clear here. I think that was an opinion that I held alone because I said to other comics afterwards, man, I thought Kelsey got that. And they said, no, I thought it was overtime. So, but in the interest of fairness, since I have I've gone the other way on Kelsey a couple times, I think that I thought that she won in regulation, and she had a hell of a run as champion. One of the more successful runs we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Multiple title defenses. This battle was, again, just sort of like up and down. You had a little bit of that awkward energy. I thought it was more consistent than some of the other battles. I think a lot of the awkward energy was from her, like, framing rebuttals in places where they didn't necessarily make sense. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't remember what the first thing that Sarah rebutted was, but she said, well, that's true, I am brown. And it's like, her being Persian was like such a minor part of the joke. I almost feel like you have to rebuttal the meat of the joke.
Yeah. And
you know
she
what
did
I mean?
that twice with the same I'm brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like if I'm battling a heroin addict, right? And this just came to me. But if I'm battling a heroin addict and he makes a joke about me being fat, and I'm like, it's true, I have to wear a huge belt because I'm fat, and then I do a tying off thing, right? Like, obviously that's what I wrote the joke for, but it lacks a little bit of authenticity because it's like, unless he made a joke about me wearing a big belt, it's kind of like you're like, oh, I wrote this belt thing, let me backwards, engineer it. Yeah. So there was a little bit of that in the battle, I felt like, on both sides, and I thought some of the stuff didn't hit as hard. But the jokes that were not rebuttals, I thought were really consistent. Kelsey, you look like a hot girl who drowned 3 days ago, which is absolutely just spot on. That one's perfect. Also, I loved her just indignation over at the beginning, like, I'm a whore?
Yeah, that was
While
great.
Sarah is dressed like, like that. Sarah's AI joke and her tits are downers joke were both incredible. Kelsey, the only thing that goes near her nose is her mustache. The Comedy Store walls, the hijab. I thought there were some really solid punches landed throughout. And it was good. It was good. It was just there was just still a little bit of awkwardness. We can't escape it.
Yeah. I will say Kelsey flubbed that joke, and I thought she did a really good job of recovering it and not letting it control the battle until then when she said the joke about the dad blowjob thing, and then just corrected it right away in the moment and kept going, I thought that was great. I don't know that I needed the whole calling it out. But I will say I've seen a lot of people, and myself included, in title matches that fuck up a joke and let it shake them for the rest of the battle. And she did not do that. So well done, Kelsey.
No, I thought she was great, and seriously, both of them deserve credit on a larger scale just for what they have accomplished. This was Sarah Fatimi's 20th win. So both of them, 20 wins, which is an insane number to get to. I remember when Sarah Fatimi first came around.
I remember her first battle.
Yeah. What are your memories of it, real quick?
I remember her flirting with Jeff so much in the most uncomfortable way, where I'm like, girl, you don't need to do that. It's okay. But now that I know her, it's like it's not what you would think it would be. When I say flirting with Jeff, she's just very sweet and very overly kind to everyone. Where at first when you meet her, you're like, is this real? And then you're like, nope, she's just so sweet.
I mean, I'll be 100% honest. After her first battle, I was like, this girl's going to do 3 battles and we will never see her again.
I think you might have said that to me.
I don't think I've said it on the pod, but
No.
I remember when she first came around because
I meant in the room.
At the
battle.
time,
Yeah.
that night, probably, because we were on Comedy Central at the time, and you had a lot of these people sniffing around who were like, let me see if there's a quick way for me to get on TV. And it was a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she comes, and she's dressed to the nines, and she's doing that whole thing. And then I distinctly remember, I don't remember if she won or lost. I don't remember who she battled. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember when it went to the judges, she was standing there with her hand on her hip and posing and smiling like she was in a beauty pageant the entire time. And I just remember being like, what the fuck is she doing? And I think it was because we used to have a photographer taking pictures, and she's like, I want to look good for the pictures. I want to be the hot girl on stage. And I'm like, this is not what this show is about. This is about joke writing. And I judged a book by its cover, and I was like, we might never see her again. Because she's going to battle 3 times, not get on TV, and just be like, fuck this. I'll go do whatever. And she really has a love for the sport. Unlike, a lot of other people. She really is into it, and she takes it very seriously, and she works very hard, and her joke writing has improved by leaps and bounds, and she still does a little bit of that thing, and it wasn't for any of the reasons that I thought. It's just
who she is.
Who she is.
Yeah.
And, there's always a little bit of like awkwardness. Every battle, there's one moment where she's like, excuse me, it's my joke, or her opponent is like, excuse me, it's still my joke, and they're like, oh, and there's always a mix-up over whether it was a joke or a rebuttal, and it's like, it's become this like fun little endearing kind of thing if you see all of her battles, and congratulations to her for working her ass off over 5 years and kicking ass.
I feel like I see a lot, like Sarah's anxiety about the rules of roast battle. I relate to so hard. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about like the chivalry of the sport.
Yeah.
So I like not see myself in Sarah, but like I can relate to her so much, and like there are very few battlers that I've seen work as hard as she has, and as tirelessly and as positively, with just a genuine joy and love. When I heard that she won the championship, I was floored. I was really stoked. I love Kelsey, and I think she had a great run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there are, in this given arena, I think Sarah is one of the most, not deserving, because nobody deserves, but like maybe deserving.
Yeah.
Like, she's worked really fucking hard, and she earned it, and I'm glad.
She is deserving, and both of them are emblematic of the new era of kind of roast battle, where I feel like for the longest time we held on to the same people who were, killing it in 2016, and it's like, now they're only coming around once a year to battle, and we were like, what else are we gonna do? Those are the guys. And then there's this whole other class led by those two that have come up and been like, hey, we can
do this.
We can be the guys.
Yeah.
Right. So congrats to both of them. Historic title match. Both of them come out of it with 20 wins. And their hard work is not unnoticed and certainly appreciated. So, number 2 battle this week, the title match from LA, and now we go to number 1. I really am excited for you to see this. This is from Chicago.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
So on the TV behind the camera,
Yep.
there is smoke.
Yep.
And I am so excited. There are pyrotechnics in this battle. Oh my God.
We went through this exact same conversation last week when we aired the first battle from this event. This is Roast Battle Chicago has been crushing it, and they run in about a 100-seat room called the Lincoln Lodge. I was out there a few weeks ago to judge, and amazing show, right? But they went to one of the suburbs. The name is escaping me right now. About 40, 50 miles outside of Chicago, and they worked out a deal with this theater to do a roast battle Chicago in this theater, and it is just, from an audio-visual perspective, this is like a Michael Bay production relative to what else we've seen.
This is on par with the TV show.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure. It is, it's unbelievable, and unbelievable battle to match. 2 people we have yet to see this season on RBL Weekly. This is a hell of a battle. Excited for you guys to see it. Number 1 battle this week from Chicago. This is Queenie Bitch versus Kaylee Horton. Here it is.
Okay, that's extra. I don't know. I know this is a roast, so I'm supposed to be mean, but it's really hard to roast Kaylee because I admire her so much. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, which I think is very brave. Because I thought you were only supposed to do that when you had natural beauty.
Whatever you say, Tyra Skanks. You guys don't know this, but Queenie does a lot of things. Queenie's a comedian, and she's a singer, and she's a makeup artist. Yeah, the only thing bigger than her unrealistic dreams is the size of her forehead.
It's just my hairline. Fuck off. No, Kaylee tells a lot of jokes about molesting children. Just a fun thing for you to know about her. But here's the thing. She doesn't actually molest the children. The only people who feel molested after her set is the audience, because they only consented to see a comedy show.
Queenie's been talking about my looks a little bit. I don't understand Queenie's look, okay? Because the makeup always looks like she's going to the Oscars, and the outfit looks like she's going to a truck stop to blow a guy named Oscar.
I believe in truth in advertising. I don't know how that was for me.
America's next top bottom over here.
Also, his name was Ricardo. Get it right. Kaylee Kaylee has the hairstyle of the children she likes to molest.
So cool?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Here's the thing, though. I get it, because, dress for the job you're gonna be arrested for.
I mentioned Queenie is a makeup artist, which you guys can probably not tell
we heard
from
that the
this.
first time.
Yeah, she spends a lot too much time, I would argue. The only thing she spends more time on than doing her makeup is convincing her family she's still going to heaven.
I have never lied about that. I will be in hell wearing red. The day I go there is the day Satan retires. That is my fucking house. Bye. Here's the thing. Kaylee dresses like she tried drugs once and they quit her. Like she walked in, she's just like, I'm gonna do coke so I'm cool. Drugs are like, we're not magic, honey. Okay? This isn't an invisibility cloak. We can still see you.
On meth right now. Like, I don't understand.
You have to turn the pound somehow.
Queenie has 2 cats, and I believe the only reason she does so is because it's the closest she'll ever come to having an actual pussy.
I did it once and I wasn't a fan, so yeah.
Yeah.
This is my consolation.
Amy Adams apple, everybody.
Yeah. Wow, I know you slaved over that one, didn't you? Look, here's the thing. Kaylee already talked about it, and I know I keep talking about Kaylee's appearance, which I know isn't necessarily like woke of me, right? But here's the thing. I'm trying to do her a favor because she's a comic, so like something about her should be funny, right? I'm just like, because here's the thing. Kaylee bombs so much, she's on an FBI watch list, right? Like, God forbid she goes to Boston.
Queenie can talk about my looks all she wants, but that's funny coming from someone who looks like a Dr. Seuss character if his fetish was brown migrant children.
Thing 2. Kaylee's aging weird. Because here's the thing. Most things about her reads woman, but smile for the audience real quick. She still has her fucking baby teeth. It's like she lost them and went to the orthodontist and put them back in. That's weird.
Queenie is a sommelier, which a lot of people know. What a lot of people don't know is that she's also a cum-malier. Yeah, she can taste any dude's cum and immediately tell if he's HIV positive.
I can test for the other ones too, so see me at the bar later if you have any questions. You don't need to go to the clinic. I'm faster and cheaper. I'll tell you that. Last joke. Kaylee has a light mustache, which isn't brave. It's just the only way she could get dudes in Pittsburgh to fuck her.
Somehow I'm more of a man and woman than you'll ever be.
That's true. That's just true.
Listen, I'm not gonna do gender jokes. I'm not gonna do jokes about her pronouns because that's hack. But I do think that's what she should do to her penis.
Oh my God. Do not talk about the weenie bitch like that. Give it up for them, everybody. Holy shit.
Well, goddamn.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, clear number 1 this week.
Yes, very clearly.
It had the things that the other battles lacked. It had consistency. It had a chemistry. Maybe not the friendship chemistry we're used to, but there's also something to when both parties are like, I'm just going to be a bitch.
Yeah.
That works too.
And I do wonder if the friendship is there, but they're both just super bitchy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Kaylee, you're not super bitchy. You're just always going to come across bitchy in a roast battle. That's
they both had sort of like an aggression.
Yes.
Understood. We're gonna punch each other in the mouth for 7 jokes apiece.
And obviously, someone named Queenie bitch is going to be bitchy. That's if you weren't, I'd be very upset. Absolutely fucking incredible. I will say the Dr. Seuss character joke. I felt like it was a really good setup, but then who eats migrant children.
No, it was something different.
It was something migrant.
Something about migrant. I think brown children.
I thought it was a missed opportunity. Like there's the Dr. Seuss great setup. They're
so good.
They're like the obvious one to me was like the Dr. Seuss character that's super into BDSM. One fist, two fist, red fist, blue balls.
Yeah, that would have.
And that was just right here, you guys.
Off top, impressive. But I was so busy laughing at the idea of Queenie being a Dr. Seuss character in general.
I was picturing her like a giant hat, going through those yellow hills that they always have in Dr. Seuss books.
I was picturing her looking exactly like she does.
Really, but with a giant hat.
Yeah, I guess.
There's always a weird
giant hat will work. He was a big hat guy.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, great jokes throughout. I see you took a bunch of notes there. What were some of your favorites?
They were all. I stopped taking notes because they were all so good. The Queenie bitch had some just incredible comebacks, just off the cuff. Like that's my hairline bitch was just delightful. Kaylee's the Oscars run joke was chef's kiss. America's Next Top Bottom, Tyra Skanks. Like I love me a forehead joke. No, I don't. But I actually liked this forehead joke. I
think you have a perfectly reasonable forehead, and I don't know why anybody has ever said
Thank
otherwise.
You.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't get it. I really don't understand. It's a normal forehead. You people are insane. I think that Queenie did something, and we saw it earlier with Candace Medina. It's such an effective roast battle strategy when you are able to embrace kind of the jokes, which Candace did with, my pussy's
so
massive. Yeah, exactly. And then Queenie did it not once, but twice, at least twice that I can remember off the top of my head. The thing about going to hell.
Yeah.
Where she was like, I'm absolutely going there and I'm going to kick Satan out. Bye, it's my house now, or whatever the fuck she said. And then, what was the second one? I just blanked on it. But, whatever it was another one where Kaylee had a joke, and it was the cum Mollier, and could tell about the HIV, and she turned it into a whole riff about like I'm cheaper and faster than going to the clinic and all this other stuff. Like that can be really hard to go against when you're battling somebody who owns the shit so hard and turns it in their favor. It's like, how can I roast somebody who is unroastable in that way?
Yeah, because I think a big element of roast battle is like you're roasting the things that people should be ashamed of.
Sure. Yeah.
And when your opponent is like blatantly like proud of it or claiming it, then it's harder for the jokes to land because the audience is like, now you're just complimenting them or like you're saying things that they're totally comfortable with.
Yeah.
Which is not a roast.
And Kaylee, to her credit, the last joke when Queenie said she has a light mustache, it's the only way she can get dudes in Pittsburgh to fuck her, which is so funny. And then Kaylee was just like, somehow I'm more of a man and a woman than you'll ever be. Oof.
I mean, I was waiting for it, and it was perfectly timed.
Yeah, outstanding top to bottom. What did you think of the whole setup?
I mean, so is this their setup forever now, or this was like a one-time thing?
This is a one-time thing that I think will become a multi-time thing.
I think
they sold. I don't know if they sold the building out, but I know they sold in excess of 200 to 300 tickets. So I would imagine they'll be back.
I think I'm gonna move to Chicago.
Right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So good.
And meanwhile, we're doing it in an attic with a camera that's placed on a shoe. I think it's high-tech equipment.
Yeah. No, we can't fuck with that
hand crank
setup.
Internet.
Exactly. That's so funny. We're filming our shit on actually the filming this week was pretty good. We just should have included the overtime. No, Chicago firing on all cylinders. Their shit is consistently great.
So good.
This battle. Oh, the one other thing that I had to shout out before we get out of here. Two of them from that battle. I love a good joke where I hear it and I'm like, how have we never heard that before? America's Next Top Bottom is
incredible.
So good. And then I love the setup to Kaylee has a lot of jokes about molesting children, which is just something you should know about her or whatever. I love casting aspersions on the person's character in a setup, apropos of nothing. It doesn't connect to the joke or whatever. I guess it did connect to the joke, but just the setup to me was so funny.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, she's a bad person. Here's a fact about her.
Yeah.
I love that shit. So amazing battle. Great job to those two. Great job to Chicago. We'll take a really quick look at the standings before we get out of here as we approach about the 2/3 mark of the season. We're coming up on the home stretch here. Internationally, not much movement this week. London picks up a couple points. They seem pretty comfortable in that number 1 spot. Number 2, between Tokyo and Scotland, is going to be an arms race as we get down the stretch here. Tokyo just had their title match. Scotland is in the process of a month-long Edinburgh tournament. So I expect a great run there. And over in the States, LA extends its lead by a little bit. They're currently up 8 points over New York. New York clinging to that second spot as Chicago and Austin both made progress this week. Those 3 are going to be vying for that second position, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. So appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. My name is Pat Barker.
I'm Sarah Keller.
And we'll see you guys next week with more battles on RBL Weekly.
I had to fight the urge to do this at the end, and I don't know why.